Hit it, Phil.
Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze. It's Jackson time. La, da, da, da.
All right. Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I am joined by our full cast of characters today, which is wonderful for Easter. I hope everybody's having a great Easter.
City in Hollywood. The Jack Benny Program with Dennis Day and Barbara Nichols.
Enjoying our music on this beautiful Easter morning. And stay tuned in, because in just a short while, we'll be broadcasting from Wilshire Boulevard, where the citizens of Beverly Hills will meet for their annual stroll in the Easter Parade.
Mr. Benny's going to be late. He's sure taking a lot of time in that shower. Everybody else sings in the shower. He has to play his violin. What's the Easter bunny with all the frills upon it? I'll be the grandest fellow on the Easter parade.
Rochester. Rochester, you better dry this off, will you?
Yes, sir. I'll run it through the wringer.
You will not. You'll hang it on the line like you always do. Hey, I'll bet Heifetz can't play intermezzo and scrub his back at the same time. Here, put it away. Yes. Okay. Rochester, why'd you put out my blue suit?
So you can wear it in the Easter parade.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you always want me to be so conservative. Look at it. I want to wear something springy. You know, I know what. Here. Maybe this white suit. Here, I think I would.
Boss.
What?
Why don't you wear this brown one?
Nah, I don't like the brown one. I'm going to wear this white. You know, I haven't worn this in years and years and years. I like to wear it again.
I know, but I think either the blue one or the brown one.
Rochester, look, wait a minute. I made up my mind I'm going to wear the white one, and that settles it. Now, here, put this away and get me a nice blue tie.
Yes, sir.
Real nice. I want a bow tie.
Oh, boss.
Yeah.
While you were taking your shower, Miss Meyerhauser called and left a message.
Miss Meyerhauser? Oh, Miss Mildred, yes. My girl. What did she say?
Tell Poopsie I'll meet him at 10:30. You, Poopsie?
Well, it's just a word of endearment. You know, she's nuts about me. Anyway, I think I look pretty good since I've been dieting. Huh? Don't you think I look better?
You look about the same to me.
Oh, what are you talking about? You're silly. I must have lost 10 pounds. Here, I'll show you.
Here's a penny.
I can't understand why the Beverly Hills police made me take this weighing machine off of the front lawn. Oh, here's my fortune. It says, you would be a financial success if you weren't such a spendthrift.
Oh, scale, come now.
Let's see, here's my weight. It says, what's this? It says I weigh 102 pounds? This scale is way off.
I could have told you that when you read the fortune.
Never mind. Listen, I better get ready.
Oh, boss. Look, are you sure you want to wear this white suit?
Look, Rochester, I said I'm going to wear the white suit. Now, let's not discuss it anymore, and that settles it. Go ahead.
Well, all right, then I'll see you later.
Okay. Rochester, are you going to walk in the Easter parade?
Oh, yes, sir. But first I have to make a call to a girl I have a blind date with. I got to tell her about a change in plans.
What change in plans?
I told her to be on the corner of 6th and Main and look for a man wearing a white suit.
Well, if he likes this suit so much, why did he give it to me in the first place? Gee, I better hurry. I don't want to keep Mildred waiting. Look, Mildred, I wish when we're out walking on the street, you wouldn't call me Poopsie.
Oh, don't be so uppity. If it's good enough for a drive-in theater, it's good enough for Wilshire Boulevard.
Yeah. Let's walk, huh?
You know, I'm sorry I'm late. I could have gotten here earlier, but I couldn't leave till I finished the egg roll.
Oh, Mildred, don't you think that you're a little too old for an egg roll?
Well, what's age got to do with it? I had breakfast in a Chinese restaurant.
Oh. Well, listen, the parade is starting about, down at the next corner again. Let's walk over there, shall we?
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Jackie, why'd you have to wear that white suit?
Why? What's wrong with it?
Well, I haven't seen a suit like that since Admiral Byrd got back from the South Pole.
Well, I think it looks nice. Now, come on, let's walk, huh? Here. Huh?
Hey, look at the theater. They're showing a revival of Easter Parade with Judy Garland and Fred Astaire.
Oh, yeah. Say, I remember that, too. You know, I remember seeing that, and that was the picture where Fred Astaire was walking down Fifth Avenue, you know, on Easter, and he was singing some kind of an Easter song, and everybody on the street was answering him. I'm trying to think, what was that song again? I can't think.
Never saw such a lovely day. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
It's such fun just to nod and say Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
My, oh me, there's so much to see at Strolling Avenue.
And you greet all the friends you meet. Dennis.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Benny. I thought it was Admiral Byrd.
Well, I'm not. Dennis, you know my girlfriend, don't you?
Oh, sure. Hello, Mildred.
Hi, Dennis.
Dennis, what are you doing? Where'd you get that duck? What are you doing?
Oh, my aunt sent him to me for Easter. Isn't he cute? I call him Harvey.
Oh, look at it. You got him today, and you named him already?
I gotta work fast. I'm eating him tonight.
You're going to eat your Easter duck?
Oh, sure. Last year, my aunt sent me a rabbit, and I ate him, too.
Dennis, do you eat all the pets you get on Easter?
Yeah.
Holy smoke. Oh, this is awful.
Why?
2 years ago, I gave him a French poodle.
Dennis, do you mean that you?
For weeks, I kept chasing cats up trees.
Dennis, stop with that kind of silly talk. What a thing, anyway, with a duck. If you're going to walk, go walk.
Yeah, okay. Come on, Poopsie. Let's show off our rights.
What a silly kid. Look at him walking down the street there with that crazy duck.
Ah, Poopsie, don't aggravate yourself. It's Easter.
Yeah, and what a beautiful time of year. That, I don't know, it makes you feel so romantic and so young, doesn't it?
Hey, you dance better than Nijinsky.
When did you ever see Nijinsky?
This morning, he owns the Chinese restaurant where I had breakfast.
Oh, yes, I know the place now. One fu Nijinsky. Eat now and get hungry later. Well, come on, huh? Let's walk.
Jack, look!
What?
Oh, look at the beautiful rings in the window.
Mildred, if you want to walk, let's walk.
Never saw such a lovely day. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
It's such fun just to smile and say Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
My, oh me, there's so much to see as you stroll the avenue. And you greet all the friends you meet.
Happy Easter to you. Oh, look. What are they looking at? Oh, look at a lot of people over there, and there's a television camera. Let's go over and see what it is.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Of all the affairs I attend as fashion editor of the Tribune, I don't find any as exciting as talking to these lovely ladies of the Easter parade. Miss, if I may say so, that's a very lovely hat you're wearing.
Oh, well, thank you. Glad you like it. It was designed by Robert of Marseille.
It's very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
This is a perfectly stunning outfit. May I have your name?
Donna Wilson.
Donna Wilson? Hey, that's Don Wilson. What has he made up like that for? He must... I don't know what he's up to.
May I compliment you on your outfit? Who designed it?
William Zeckendorf.
William Zeckendorf. Doesn't he build buildings?
Yes, but no one else would take on the job.
Well, it's a perfectly beautiful dress, but did you lose your gloves?
Oh, no, I left my gloves home purposely. I wanted everyone to see how lovely my hands are.
Oh, yes. Yes, they are lovely.
And here's my secret.
Oh, isn't this a new white plastic bottle of new pink lotion Lux liquid?
Yes, it is.
It certainly is modern looking.
And it's very practical, too. You see, it won't rust, won't chip, and can't slip out of your grip.
I knew it.
You see, new pink lotion Lux liquid has a selective formula that works hard against hard surfaces like dishes, and yet is so gentle, your hands don't even know it's there.
Oh, I know. I use it myself. I find it's both mild to my hands and hard working as a dishpan.
And you know, new pink lotion Lux liquid cuts grease quicker and cleans dishes cleaner.
Well, thank you very much for stopping, Mrs. Wilson.
Well, thank you, and you're very nice to ask me all those leading questions.
Guy, that Don Wilson. Imagine him getting dressed like that just so he could sneak in a commercial.
And I bet on the way home on the bus, he gets a seat.
Only if two people stand up. 3. His girdle just broke.
And now let's stroll on down the avenue and talk to some of the other people. Oh, here's a celebrity. One of television's funniest comedians, Mr. Jack Benny.
Well, thank you. I wouldn't consider myself one of the funniest, although I do ad-lib quite a bit. In fact, for instance, you know, I was nearly late for the parade because I had to wait till I finished the egg roll.
Aren't you a little old for an egg roll?
Well, what's age got to do with it? I had breakfast in a Chinese restaurant. Wasn't that good?
Stole that from me.
Quiet! Well, thank you. Oh, by the way, this is my girl, Mildred Meyerhauser.
Well, you really are very, very lovely, and it must be quite a thrill to keep company with such a big star.
Some thrill. His idea of a big time is to take me walking every night.
How long have you been going together?
About 300 miles.
Mildred. Well, anyway, thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Benny.
You're welcome. Oh, gosh, that's Don Wilson.
Never saw such a lovely day. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
You look cute in that all white suit. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. My, oh me, there's so much to see as you stroll the avenue. And you greet all the friends you meet.
Happy Easter to you. Gosh, I don't know. It's so beautiful today, and the sun is shining, and the skies are so bright. Hey, look who's coming down the street. Oh, it's my violin teacher, Professor LeBlanc.
Bonjour, mon Chabini.
Well, I certainly didn't expect to see you here, Professor.
Hello, Professor.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Gee, you look so nice today. Is that a new Easter suit?
Mademoiselle, I am a poor violin teacher. I cannot afford to buy new suits.
Well, what do you do with all the money I pay you for my violin lessons?
I buy sleeping pills.
Well, are they any good?
No, after a few days, I wake up.
Well, it's too bad. Well, it was nice seeing you. And don't forget, Professor, tomorrow you have to give me another violin lesson.
I will not forget. I will put a string around my finger.
Good.
Whether I should put a rope around my neck.
What?
Nothing. Now, if you do not mind, I will go for a walk on the freeway.
A walk on the freeway? Well, goodbye.
Could be.
I wonder why he hates to give me violin lessons. Huh?
I don't know either. I think you play beautifully.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, what's so funny about it? For heaven's sake. Saw anything?
Clara, let's rest for a little while. My feet are killing me.
Well, I'm tired, too. We must have walked for a block and a half.
Let's rest a little. Oh, Clara, there he is, our idol, Jack Benny.
Where? Over there?
No, that's William Holden. I meant the handsome one over there.
Oh, my goodness, that's him, all right. Oh, isn't he wonderful? That white suit makes his eyes look like 2 huckleberries in a bowl of yogurt.
Stop drooling and let me see. Oh, my goodness.
You must be excited. Your face is getting red.
That has nothing whatever to do with him. My elastic stockings are too tight. Did you notice there's someone with him?
Yes, I did.
Now he's looking right this way. I wonder why he doesn't wave back at us.
Well, I guess he doesn't want to make his girl jealous.
That's not going to stop me. I'm going to cross the street and go right over there.
Emma! In this traffic, you can get killed.
I'll chance it.
Now, we're not going to do anything foolish. After all, we saw Jack Benny. Now, let's walk another block, and then we'll go up to the club so we can get in before the handball courts are taken.
And you serve first.
Never saw such a lovely day. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. It's such fun just to nod and say Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
My, oh me, there's so much to see as you stroll the avenue.
And you greet all the friends you meet. Happy Easter to you. Yum bum 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 ba bum 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 ba ba bum bum ba ba bum bum da da da. Hey, wait, there's a photographer. Tell you what, let's have our picture taken, huh?
Oh, no. I'm not going to have my picture taken with you in that white suit.
Well, all right, then I'll have it taken myself. Oh, mister. Mister. I'd like to have my picture taken.
Well, good. Just stand right over there, Admiral.
I'm not Admiral Byrd.
Good, I better line you up.
All right.
Now, if you'll just put your nose on this tray.
Nose?
Yeah.
Like this? Why? What are you doing this for?
And I used to shoot photo finishes at Santa Anita.
Stop it. Look, all I want is to have my picture taken, that's all.
All right. Would you mind rolling your trousers up above your knees?
My trousers? Like this?
Yes. Yes. You don't overdo it.
Why do you want to see my knees in the picture?
I don't want to see your knees, but the less we get of that suit, the better off we are.
Now stop that, will you? Will you please just take my picture?
All right. Now I have to get you in focus. There we are. And now, open your mouth and smile. Wider.
Are you trying to make me look ridiculous?
Will
you do that? Will you stop with that? Just take my picture. I run into it wherever I go. Just take my picture.
Now, are you ready?
Nuts, yeah.
Here we go. There we are. Now, do you want to wait for it, or shall I mail it to you?
Mail it to me at my home. 366 North Camden Drive.
366 North... Oh, that's the house with the weighing machine out in front.
They made me take it in. Oh. Now get out of here, will you?
All right.
Say, for sausage, how he can ever even make a living doing that.
Jack, roll down your pants leg.
Now, I'll tell you what we'll do, Mildred. We'll walk about another mile, and then I'll buy you an ice cream soda.
Thank you, Paul Getty.
Thank you, Paul Getty. Thank you. Smart Alex kid. Happy Easter.
It's such fun just to nod and say Happy Easter.
And you greet all the friends you meet. Happy Easter to you.
Oh, hello, Mr. Benny.
Dennis, again? What'd you do with the duck?
Oh, Harvey, he laid an egg, so I took it to the Hollywood Maternity Hospital.
A duck to the maternity hospital?
I hope it's a boy. They're delicious.
Dennis, if you have to open your mouth instead of saying those silly things, it's Easter, why don't you sing?
You mean right here on the street?
Go, everybody. Today is Easter. Everybody is singing on the street. You heard them, aren't they, darling? Huh?
And I always feel like singing when I'm with you, Poopsie.
Dennis, please. Honestly, it's all right. Sing on the street.
Okay.
Everybody.
Okay, Poopsie. In your Easter bonnet with all the frills upon it, you'll be the grandest lady in the Easter parade. Oh, I'll be all in clover, and when they look you over, I'll be the proudest fellow in the Easter parade.
Gee, it was fun today walking in the parade, wasn't it? Huh?
Oh, it was. We sure walked a long way.
Yeah, I'm tired, too.
Well, you ought to be. You've walked in a lot more Easter parades than I have. Hey, Poopsie.
What?
Get some ice, huh?
All right. Oh, waiter. Waiter, will you bring some ice, please? Gee, I wish I knew what we wanted to eat, too. Bring us a menu.
Oh, that feels so good. Ooh, my feet were really on fire.
Well, I hope they cool off because we've got to walk all the way home now.
Okay, but I'm warning you. I change boyfriends every 500 miles.
I know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back in 2 weeks. And next week, be sure to watch The George Gobel Show, brought to you by Stripe, the red and white toothpaste. Good night.
The Jack Benny program is a J&M production.
Hello, folks. This is Kate Smith inviting you to enjoy some of America's finest music on our show tomorrow evening on most of these stations.
All right. Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I am joined by our full cast of characters today, which is wonderful for Easter. I hope everybody's having a great Easter. And we have our friend Terry back after so long. Terry, it's great to see you.
Hey, Daryl.
Terry, do you have anything new to tell us on the project front, or anything you want to share? Anything?
I do. I'm delighted to report that the script is finished. It's going out for casting on Monday, and I hope by I'm sure by the end of April, and perhaps long before the end of April, we will have our first new episode of the new season of Imaginaire Theater. This one's a two-parter, as we've discussed before, so it's lengthy, keeping with your theory, Daryl, that eventually we're going to have a hours-long episode. But this one's probably going to run 40 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe, I'm not sure, but it'll be in two parts.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited about it. It's we've been working on this, my team and I, for months and months. It was really hard to nail, but I'm now looking forward to hearing how it's going to sound, just like everybody else. I have no idea yet.
I'm excited. Well, and what's great is I've done such a lousy job of remembering to post your episodes that I think I still have 1 or 2 left that I need to post. So right about the time I'm done with those, hopefully they'll be ready to hear a new episode. So
excellent. Well, thank you again for doing that. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. And we, of course, have our friend John Henderson here from This Day in Jack Benny. John, how are things going over in your neck of the woods?
Oh, pretty good, Buck. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold.
Oh, okay. And we have Kathy Fuller-Seeley here again. Kathy, any new news on your end?
Well, I think we have, within 3 weeks, we'll be able to celebrate the 90th anniversary of Jack's start on radio. Can you believe May 5th, May 2nd, 1932, 90 years ago. So
that's astounding to think about. That's,
yeah, it is.
That blows my mind to so many degrees. Like, because it's obviously in 10 years, this is going to be 100-year-old material, and the Marx Brothers are hitting very, very close to the Coconuts being about 100 years old. So I'm still astounded that we're going to be able to look at this as 100-year-old material.
Right.
That still works. Like,
yeah.
That's a mind-boggling concept.
Well, in Jack's case, that particular episode kind of works, kind of doesn't work.
Yeah.
He really starts working what, in about 33-ish probably is where he's starting to really click, but I don't know.
Right.
A little later. 35, 34.
Oh, no, earlier.
Oh, earlier, you're saying even earlier.
Well, I'm fond of the early shows.
So am I. I love the early shows, but I'm just saying, as a general audience, I don't know if they would get into some of the early shows or not. But for them to give a try, they can pick up one of your books and that has the scripts in there from the earliest shows. Between your two books, the 50-ish earliest episodes of the Jack Benny Show are in there. So nice. And Zach, it is so great to have you back again, my friend. And how are you feeling? You were not doing well last week.
I was not. I was under the weather, and then this week turned into its own form of adventures. But been a lot of busy work on my end. Got a paid editing gig, which is nice. I'm getting started on what is going to be needed for that. Which I think a lot of that success would be owed to the work that I've been doing the past couple of years with the Benny convention and other stuff. It honed my skills, but also I've been working on the Benny book that Kathy has been helping me out with in so many respects. In fact, more than one respect. It's like a dozen respects. Like I don't know where I'd be starting without her. And also Buck is going to be helping my podcast debut a video component, because you recorded a good sizable length episode on Winchester 73 that I didn't think to do video, but when you talked about it afterward, I'm like, this is a good idea. And it helps because for listeners
from the house of good ideas.
Yeah. Oh, it's the only place to get innovation. You come to Book Benny OTR. That's what I'm thoroughly convinced of. And additionally, though, you came in costume. I didn't even think to do that. I'm wearing a Batman T-shirt the entire time, and you're decked out, ready to go back into old Western territory. So it'll be very interesting, and you guys out there should be able to see it within the week. So. Stay tuned for it. But yeah, it's been crazy on my end, but I'm very happy to be here to talk some Benny. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, we have a special Easter presentation for you today, and I just learned about this yesterday. I did not know that this episode existed, and I threw it out there to our gang, and some of us got a chance to watch it. And certainly it's based on the radio show that he redid a number of times, and it's delightful. The only issue I have with it, unfortunately, is the same issue I have with a lot of the Jack Benny shows. There's a character missing that I think it sorely could use. And for any of you that know me, who is the character I'm talking about? Anyone?
Phil Harris?
Of course, no. Phil Harris.
Barry Livingston.
That's right. The Easter episode is probably my favorite of the radio episodes, or one of my favorites, I should say. I got so many favorites, but in this case, Mary was not available. It was another live show that they did, and so with doing a live show, she doesn't appear on the live shows. I did find out this week, because I had never paid close enough attention. She did one live show. Does anybody know what the one live show she did was?
Is it a Christmas one, maybe?
Good guess. We actually did this one. We did an intro for it a while back.
The 40th birthday anniversary?
Look at that. Kathy pulls it out. Nice job, Kathy. Yeah, he mentions in there, he says, oh, Mary, this is your first live show ever, or something like that during the show. And she does a marvelous job, and she should have. Unfortunately, I wish he would have done more of his shows. Certainly, I wish he would have done this one. But we do have the Easter show. It's wonderful to see. I love that they do this one. A tricky one to do, as they're trying to take a walk, and so how do you show that they're taking a walk and meeting all the characters as they go along? But anyway, Kathy, what were your thoughts on it?
A number, in part, it fascinates me. The emphasis he put on Easter shows over the years, that shows me sort of Jack at his most wanting to blend into Gentile American culture. Even more than Christmas, to celebrate Easter really means, that he's sort of downplaying his own Jewish heritage and playing up that I'm an all-American and gee, most of America is Christian thing. I love the aspect of seeing it on television, that ancient suit coat they came up with him for, and it was all wrinkled and old and had a little belt in the back. So I appreciated, instead of just hearing about an old jacket, for a change, actually getting to see it. And I would mention one fabulous, I have so appreciated, Daryl, you introducing me to more of Jack's television episodes, to remember all the ways that he and his co-creators could play up visual humor. And that one marvelous shot of the little boy just walking in front of him and Barbara Nichols and just standing there and standing there and standing there and then just shaking his head a little and walking on with just a fabulous bit that didn't need any joking language
right
to be hilarious. So.
Yes. I just love the way they brought it across. I thought it worked nicely, and just the whole concept in the original and in this version of it is just walking along and greeting all the people that they meet, which is what the song says. They sing the song that's from
Easter Parade.
Thank you. And so it's charming in the radio version, running into all the different characters, you know, whether it's Frank Nelson or whether it's Mel Blanc, and then in this doing the same thing is just charming in its own way. And so I love that.
I didn't have a chance to watch this one, but I have a question for those who did.
Sure.
Does it live up to the cartoonishness that the radio version possesses? And I mean that in the sense of like some of the one I remember from the radio show is Don Wilson saying like, well, I'd love to, but I'm on the other side of the street. Like the idea of him being so wide that he's extending his body to the other side of the street. I'm wondering if it lived up to the cartoonish.
Well, they couldn't do that piece, so they changed. The most changed piece is probably Don's piece. But I really liked it. It was Don wearing a dress and he's got a wig on, and he so
very large bottle.
Very large, and he actually made I wouldn't have questioned if I saw this woman on the street that she was a woman. So that's pretty impressive.
But Zach, there were other, to use your word, cartoonish gags in this episode. They weren't the same ones, but they were. There were others that, yes, I think lived up to that reputation.
I scanned the episode a little bit and saw Dennis with a duck, and I was like, okay, I know something's up.
Good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Terry, tell us. Oh, go ahead.
The thing about Don Wilson in the episode, they're like, oh, I needed a shipbuilder to build this outfit or whatever, but you can actually see how big he is. So that does work better on the radio than
Yeah. Yeah, I think
that was great. Who designed his dress was a architect designed his dress. You know, whatever. Yeah,
it's the one thing that I have issue with the television shows is every time that Don comes on screen, a little bit more of my imagination goes away as a result of it, because I'm like, he wasn't that big. But I think he handles like sound effects have helped him in certain respects with certain gags that they would do, especially with like with an instrument accompanying him, which, you know, lays into that whole the fat person stereotype. But the idea though that they were going to walk an entire set in live television fascinated me when I saw the listing this morning. So in the grand scheme of the direction of television, how did people feel about it? Like, how did it hold up?
Well, one thing I was surprised about, I didn't realize they were doing live shows this late. I thought by 60 they'd gone to all not being live anymore to being film shows. But I wonder, does anyone know, Kathy? I don't know if anybody knows. Like, how much further did they go with the live shows? Was 60 the last season with live shows, or did they even do more? I'm not sure.
Now, I don't know offhand, but to think other parts of the schedule, soap operas, game shows. So you're right. Well, more parts of nighttime television had stopped being live. There was still, if you were watching a whole day of television, there was still a lot.
And I would quibble a little bit with calling this a live show. It was actually edited.
Okay.
There's a halfway through the show, there's a really obvious cut.
Right.
And I don't know why they did it, but maybe there was a technical problem, or maybe they changed the script. I'm not sure, but it wasn't actually broadcast live.
Well, okay, you're right. I mean, that's a very good point. And Laura Leibowitz in her television volume says it was actually recorded on March 27th for broadcast on April 17th. So it was recorded, but trying to look live.
Yeah, it felt like it was a hybrid sort of thing. So yeah.
A very good point.
Yeah. Terry,
Yeah,
well,
but-
what are your thoughts on this? Because I'm sure you have
Well,
some thoughts.
well, the first thing I want to say is that keeping in with the rest of our conversation about the differences between radio and TV for Jack Benny, this was the first episode for me that really started taking advantage of the medium. His writers, same writers he'd had for years in radio, were struggling with this transition. How do you make an audio gag funny on TV? And how do you leave aside some of those things that were purely audio and take advantage of the new medium? And one thing I'll point out is that there was a wonderful joke about Jack taking a shower with his violin, and on radio he had to explain what was happening. On TV we could just see it, and in fact he added to it by having this goofy brush added to the bow, and they really tried to show you instead of just talking about what was funny.
Right.
And there were plenty of others, and there's no need to go into those details, but they did really work at this transition from radio to TV. I also want to mention Barbara Nichols. Kathy pointed out this was the actress who played his girlfriend, Mildred Meyerhauser. And I didn't know much about her. I had to do a little bit of digging, but she was from Long Island, if you couldn't tell from her accent, and had kind of a tragic end to her career. She'd been very busy. She was kind of a Marilyn wannabe, or a big blonde, kind of dumb but not really dumb. And she got into a couple of car accidents and died fairly young. I think she was in her 40s as a consequence of those two car crashes. But she was very, very, very funny. And even though in radio, where we miss hearing Mary walking with Jack in the television episode, she kind of did the Mary Livingston role. She wasn't dumb. She was clearly antagonistic to Jack in many ways, but it was a sweet character also. And so I really enjoyed seeing her in this. The two actresses who played members of Jack Benny's fan club were Madge Blake, who we might remember as playing Aunt Harriet on Batman. She was also Larry Mondello's mother on Leave It to Beaver. And the other actress was, let's see if I've got her name here, Jessalyn Fax, who was also a very busy character actress. And the one actress I could not identify was the woman who played the TV interviewer. Does anybody know who that was? I couldn't find her in any cast listing, but she was
her name was Faye Baker, says
Faye Baker. I'll have to look her up. I couldn't find her anywhere. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll mention for the benefit of our younger listeners is that at one point somebody mentions it might have been Barbara Nichols talking about, oh yeah, when Jack said afterwards he was going to take her out to for an ice cream soda or something like that, and to do the cheap joke, she made reference to him being no Paul Getty, and J. Paul Getty was one of the wealthiest men in America at that time. He was one of the first billionaires, I think, in the United States.
You could say, as Ridley Scott would, that he had all the money in the world.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But he ended up losing a grandson because of his wealth.
Yep.
Again, quite tragically.
Yeah.
Can I ask the question? Was that background, was it a turntable? So was that a moving back? Because I thought maybe Jack and Barbara were standing still and the background was moving.
I think it was a combination of them walking really slowly, which looked kind of goofy. And I think, the background must have moved. I was having trouble following it, but it was done quite elaborately because the camera moved along with it. So it was a pretty good device. Oh, and I guess there's one other thing we should mention, which is that, Jack Benny is often described as the master of comic timing. That extended to his whole cast. I don't know how much of that was him choosing people who were good at it and him teaching people how to do comic timing. But you mentioned that kid standing there. that went on and on and on, and it was funnier and funnier and funnier. And as we'll talk about in other episodes, the long takes that he does to milk every last ounce of laughter, to me, remains to this day, almost 90 years later, hilariously funny and brilliant.
Yeah, we mentioned that a few weeks ago, the same thing. It's just, and you can tell if you listen to the rehearsal episodes of the Jack Benny radio show, you can hear him telling people, okay, wait just a little longer on that one. That you need to pick it up on this one. You're going too slow. He would be helping people with their speed and everything. So the timing, like you said, it feels like every actor has such great timing on these shows, and certainly on the radio shows too. But a lot of it is Jack's timing and Jack sharing with them to get the timing right.
Yeah.
For everybody.
On the radio, he could do hand signals and tell people exactly when to go, but you can't do that on television.
No, on television, the only way to do it, I guess, would be with rehearsals. Getting, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did a lot of rehearsals on Jack's shows, because the timing is so good. I don't see,
The timing, by the way, was much better in this one. We haven't talked about it yet, but the other episode from 1956 that we'll discuss at another time. The contrast was huge. It was so much better in this one. And I don't know how much of that, again, was him directly controlling the pacing, and how much of it was maybe his director. But it was much, much, much sharper in this episode.
Well, like you're saying, if this one wasn't live, so it's filmed, they could reduce, they could go, okay, let's try that again, and let's do it this way, and and he could point things out. The other one's live, so that one, they'd only do the rehearsals, and after the rehearsals, they're kind of stuck with whatever they produce live, right? So that'd be trickier. The other episode we're talking about is the passport episode, and we're going to be doing that one today. I thought I'd go ahead and mention it because as our Easter gift to all of you, we're going to be taking a trip with Jack and Mary as they go across all over the place. And so the first thing we do is we have to get his passport. So we're going to present his passport episode, and then from there on we will present the episodes. Luckily, Jack filmed a bunch of episodes that took place all over the world, and so we'll be presenting those. He goes to England, and he goes to Venice, and various places that we'll be presenting. So I thought those would be fun to present, a kind of a package that we're going to present going forward as we're hitting into the summer and things. As I was on my spring break this week, I was thinking, oh, it'd be fun to revisit. I was thinking about, because I can't really travel much right now, so it's like, oh, it'd be fun to travel. And so I thought, let's travel with Jack. Anyway, John, were you going to point out anything else in this episode?
Well, you mentioned those two episodes. They both share one bit, which is Jack getting his picture taken. And, they pull a line across, and it's supposed to be like a finish line for a horse. And you had mentioned before we started that, it wasn't the strongest joke in the world, but it just goes to show how much these actors bring to it.
I agree.
Both Mel Blanc and Frank Nelson made that whole camera guy hilarious, but in their own totally unique way. So it's not just they're relying on the material.
That's what I was noticing too, John. It was cool to see a scene done very similarly, but with my two favorite actors on the Benny Show, or two of my favorite actors on the Benny Show, Frank Nelson and Mel Blanc. I'd have to say I enjoyed Mel's version better, but that's because his character was a full-blown character. They spent more time with him. There was more jokes with him doing the bit, whereas Frank, because of the way the show lays out, that they can only spend so much time with any of the characters. Everybody just kind of pops in for a quick few lines, that he doesn't have as much time to develop. And if they did, I'm sure that Frank would have done as good of a job. And it's still funny the way Frank presents it and everything. I love that. Yeah.
And of course, like everyone's mentioned, I love the Easter parade episodes of the radio show, which they did a bunch of times, and then they also reran a bunch of times. And the energy on that one is so good. And so it was fun to be able to actually see it. some of the jokes that you wouldn't think they would be able to do, like the weighing machine joke, they pulled off even on television, which was a surprise. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it does astound me. Jokes that I think, oh, they're gonna replace this joke because it's not gonna work on television. They find some way to make it work or keep in the similar vein. So I'm always impressed with how they dig deep to go, okay, how can we make this joke play visually? And they usually find a way.
In a weird way, whenever he does that, he's innovating what television will be capable of down the line. And it's not like grand innovation like special effects on Star Trek or like the innovative storytelling of the Twilight Zone. It's more just that like it's small little tiny things. Like I think there's an emphasis on sound effects every time I watch a Jack Benny television show, because it's almost like Jack would recycle gags with his writers. It's almost like he doesn't want to lose, and he doesn't want to have to come up with a replacement. If he knows that the material works, he's going to like move heaven and earth to get it done.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised at like ones that I'm surprised that they succeed more often than they fail.
Mhm.
Like the things that fail for me on the television shows tend to be broader concepts and ideas, like the vault, which we've talked about. But tiny things, small, subtle things, which is one of Jack's specialties, excel on television as much as they did on radio, because I think that the audience is primed to suspend their disbelief when it comes to early television, and they're ready just for anything to happen on early television. If he had done this show, let's say 20 years later, let's say Jack didn't die in 1974 and moved it into the 80s, he wouldn't be able to get away with it the same way. But because the perfect storm collides with timing and luck, those gags still permeate our minds as successes. And the idea of the weighing machine, or in one of the shows we're going to talk about, the idea of repeating gags and repeating lines. And Terry talked about how the timing is a little bit off by comparison to the other ones. Like, it's still amazing to see how much the audience is willing to just go with it, as opposed to like letting a joke fall flat. Because I've heard and I've watched television shows from that era where the audience, if they don't like it, they don't like it. It seems like with Jack, they're willing to suspend their disbelief for the most part.
And Zach, did you not notice that that Jack Benny did on this television episode what he did all the time on the radio, which was these little ad-libbed sounding, if they weren't actually ad-libbed, asides. He did it with respect to Don Wilson. He did it in the beginning with Eddie Anderson. We haven't talked about Rochester, who had a key scene in the beginning of this episode. But Jack is still trying to do the live sounding asides. And Johnny Carson picked this up. He always said that Jack Benny was his idol, his role model. And when a joke fell flat for Johnny, he would say something, and that would milk it even more. And Jack loved to do that in the radio. And correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but it sounded like he did this once or twice on this television episode.
I saw that, and it's, you know, I'm always kind of astounded what Jack will latch onto versus won't latch onto. It's like I always feel like one gag will be more to his liking than the other, and then I realize I don't really know Jack the way I think I do. You know, like, but those asides are essential, because I've always kind of maintained that Jack's comedy comes from subtlety that's amplified. Like, so it's a subtle gag that is amplified for the purposes of ridiculousness, or like it's almost like it's like a Wes Anderson gag to an extent, except Wes Anderson pulls back, whereas Jack just pushes through like a freight train. But it's all based on subtle things, subtle instances. We'll talk about it with the other episode, but like there's a gag that's repeated 3 times that when I was watching it, I couldn't believe that they were pulling this gag off 3 times and that it somehow still worked, because it's a gag we know, but it's one that I didn't realize they were going to milk all the way through that episode.
Well, speaking of that, I think we'll go ahead and head over to our other episode to chat about it. And we'll let people enjoy this Easter performance of the Jack Benny Show. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Easter. And I'm glad we could get this recorded on the day before Easter for us in 2022. So enjoy your Easter and enjoy the show. And come back and tune in every year on Easter to check out this episode, because it's a worthwhile bit of your time to spend. So enjoy. Thanks, everybody, and have a happy Easter, everyone. Bye.
Hit it, Phil. Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze. It's Jackson time. La, da, da, da.
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I'm joined with John Henderson. Hey, John.
Hello.
And Kathy Fuller-Seeley. Kathy. We have an Easter episode for you, sort of. It's the Jack in the monologue mentions Easter. The monologue's all about Easter and how this is, I think it was actually Easter Sunday that this was being broadcast.
From Television City in Hollywood, the Jack Benny Program. Guest Ronnie Burns. Presented by Lucky Strike, a light smoke. The best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Light up a light smoke, a lucky strike. The right smoke's a light smoke, a lucky strike. For the taste that you like, light up a
Light up a light smoke.
A lucky strike.
You'll say it's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lucky Strike program. Well, here it is, April 6th, Easter Sunday. And I want to tell you the cutest thing happened this morning. When I woke up, Rochester, who incidentally is feeling a lot better, Rochester came into my room and he brought me a rabbit. He gave me a rabbit, a real live bunny rabbit, you know, and it was the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. We were trying to figure out a name for it, and then I thought, oh, well, why bother? I mean, with the price of meat as high as it is. You beat me to that one. I won't be along with us very long. I mean, you beat me to the joke anyway, which was very, very good, I think. But, of course, today, Easter Sunday. Now, this is the day, of course, all over the country where the big thing is the Easter parade, you see. And here in Hollywood, they held it on Wilshire Boulevard between Fairfax and La Brea, you see. And all of the guests, you see, the celebrities were dressed up in their Easter finery, you know, strolling up and down the street. And up ahead of the parade, leading the parade, was Phil Harris. That's right, Phil Harris walking. Now I know why they call it the Miracle Mile. And of course, I wanted to be in the parade myself. You know, I bought a brand new suit to be in it, but it didn't get there in time, so I just stood on the curb and sort of watched it, you see. And it was a thrilling sight to see the women all dressed up in their beautiful new sack dresses. And just as the judges were about to pick the best dressed woman, the most embarrassing thing happened. A laundry bag fell off a truck and won first prize. A fire hydrant came in second. Of course, I could stand here and tell you about the parade all day, but I want to get on with the show. You know, ladies and gentlemen, as you probably know, the younger generation has been taking over the recording business, you see? And many of the young famous singers are sons of famous fathers, like Gary Crosby and Ricky Nelson. Well, the closest friend that I have in the world is George Burns, and the friends are George Burns and Gracie Allen. See? And their son has just made his first recording, and he's here with us today. I'd like to have you meet him, Ronnie Burns. Ronnie, it's just wonderful having you on the show.
Well, thank you very much, Uncle Jack.
He always calls me Uncle Jack, ever since he was a little kid, you know. Of course, I've known Ronnie's father and mother for such a long time. I'm practically part of the family. I go to their house 4 or 5 times a week, you know, and I go to all their parties. And Ronnie, I'll bet I had dinner at your house 1,000 times.
That's right.
Well, to celebrate, tonight after the show, you come over and have dinner at my house.
Oh, that'd be wonderful, Uncle Jack. Where do you live?
Where do I live in Beverly Hills.
I know, but what's the address?
Look, I invited you to dinner. If you're hungry enough, you'll find it. I don't know, the younger generation hasn't got that pioneering spirit. Ronnie, did your father ever tell you how he and I first met?
Oh, sure, he told me that story many times. How he was a headliner, and he went into his agent's office, and you were sitting there in the waiting room in tattered clothes, and the agent said to him, "Isn't there something you can do for that poor fellow out there?" And so my father went out and took the tin cup off your violin and gave you a small part in his act.
That's what your father told you.
That's what he tells everybody.
Well, look, regardless of what your father says, I will tell you the truth. I was the headliner at the Palace Theater, New York. And your father, George Burns, was working across the street, right on the street, selling hot chestnuts.
My father was doing that?
Yes. For 10 cents, he gave you 6 chestnuts and a chorus of Ain't Misbehavin'. So feeling sorry for him, I bought him some shoes and gave him a part in my act, you see.
Well, that's awfully sweet of you, Uncle Jack. How'd the act go over?
Well, the following week, we were both selling chestnuts. Now, Ronnie, who are you going to believe, your father or me?
My mother.
Gracie?
Mm-hmm. Mother told me the real story how Dad got started in show business.
Yeah.
You see, his first partner was a seal. The act was called Burns and Flipper.
Oh, I remember that act. Flipper the seal. Your dad worked with the seal.
For 3 years. And then he finally teamed up with Mother because she ate less.
What became of the seal?
Mother's wearing it.
Well, look, Ronnie, we could probably stand here and reminisce all day, you know. But how about doing the song now that you recorded, your very first recording? Now, you go off stage and get ready, and I'll announce it. Ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie Burns will now sing this first recording that he made called She's Kinda Cute.
She's kinda cute. Dressed in sloppy clothes, freckles on her nose. She's kinda cute. She's kinda cute. She's kinda cute. She's kinda cute. She's a living dream in her faded jeans. She's kinda cute. She's kinda cute. She's kinda cute. She's kinda cute. She's kinda cute in the little way she walks. She's kinda cute in the little way she talks. The way she looks at me, laughs and winks her eye. Oh, I'm so in love that I could die. She's kinda cute in the little way she walks. She's kinda cute in the little way she talks. looks at me, laughs and winks her eye. I'm so in love that I could die. She's kinda cute, happy as can be, 'cause she's in love with me. She's kinda cute, she's kinda cute, she's kinda cute, she's kinda cute, she's kinda cute.
Sang. That's cute, isn't it? Thank you very, very much, Ronnie. And now I have a sketch, a play we're going to do that I'd like to introduce. Oh, but before I do, we must have our commercial. Oh, Don Wilson, will you come out and do the commercial, please?
You can do it yourself.
Don Wilson, come out here. What'd you just say?
I said you can do the commercial yourself.
Don, what's bothering you?
I'll tell you what's bothering me. For months now, I've been trying to get you to give my son Harlow a featured spot on your show, and you continue to say no. But let George Burns ask you to put his son on the show, and you do it just like that.
But, Don, George Burns is the best friend I have in the world. He's my pal.
Some pal. I charge you less for being your announcer than George Burns charges you for being your friend.
Oh, for heaven's sake, I pay him a few bucks a week to like me, and you make a big... Now, look at Don, you're going to do the commercial at your bin. That's settled then.
I'm not going to do the commercial, and that is that.
Now look what you've done.
I don't care.
But Don, your business is to do the commercial, not with those big feet. Just do the commercial, and do it.
Oh, all right. A Lucky Strike is all cigarette. Every inch a cigarette. Nothing but fine, light, mild, naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better, cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Don't tell me, tell them about it. I know. I've been with them 15 years.
So when it's light-up time, light up a Lucky. You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. There's your commercial. I hope you're satisfied.
Well, there he goes, ladies and gentlemen. 12 angry men. So upset about his son, Harlow.
Oh, Mr.
The
Benny?
minute I don't use him,
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
You're wanted on the phone.
Here?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Excuse me just a minute, will you, please? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, what'd you call me for? I'm right in the middle of a show.
Did you buy a suit from Clemmer and Johnson?
Clemmer and Johnson? Yes, I bought a new suit.
Well, a man brought it to the house about an hour ago.
Oh, it's a good-looking suit, isn't it?
Yeah, I hope it looks as good on you as it is on him.
Wait a minute. You mean he wore the suit over?
He said for the price you paid, they couldn't afford to put it in the box.
Well, look, Rochester, it's a beautiful suit no matter what I say.
Just a moment, boss. There's someone at the door. Come in.
Rochester.
Just a minute, boss.
Is this the home of Jack Benny?
Yes, it is.
Did he buy a suit last week?
Yes, the man from the store delivered it.
Oh, that was Mr. Clemmer.
Mr. Clemmer himself?
Yes, I'm Mr. Johnson with the extra pair of pants.
that?
The extra pair of pants arrived. The censor is glad you didn't buy underwear.
Come on, sister. Look, stop with the jokes and press the clothes and put them in the closet. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Has to call me right in the middle of a show. And now we've taken up so much time, I've got to get into the sketch. Oh, Don Wilson, come out and introduce the sketch, please. Ronnie, where's Don? Don
He
Wilson.
stormed out of here and went home. I sort of feel responsible.
Oh, don't give it a thought. Imagine him getting so upset about his son, Harlow.
I know, but I've liked Mr. Wilson for a long time, and well, I don't want him to hold a grudge against me. I wish you'd talk to him.
Well, maybe you've got something there. I mean, if he was so angry that he left in the middle of the show and went home, maybe I ought to go over to his house and discuss it with him, huh?
Sure.
Come on, let's...
Just can't get over it after all these years. Imagine he's doing a thing like that to me, taking another man's son.
Oh, now, Don, will you stop pacing up and down? I feel the same way you do about it. But let's not let that mean old man spoil our home life.
After all the things I've done for Jack. When do you remember when he had pneumonia? It was a pint of my blood that got him on his feet again.
Yeah, I'll say it got him on his feet. You gave him the blood, he jumped out of bed, ran downtown, and sold it to the Red Cross for $10.
And on the way home, he stopped by our house and wanted 2 cents back on the bottle. Oh, when I think of how that man's insulted me, I could
now, Don, control yourself, dear.
I can't control myself.
No, try.
I am so mad, I scream!
Now look what you've done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, maybe we'll feel better after we have some dinner. Harlow! Harlow, darling. Dinner's ready. Madame, remember, not a word about this in front of Harlow. You know how sensitive he is.
Yeah. He knows if he's the center of conflict, he'll get all upset emotionally. Harlow, we're calling you.
Yes, Daddy.
Harlow, when we called you the first time, why didn't you answer?
I didn't hear you. I was listening to this Ronnie Burns record.
Ronnie Burns, give me that. Don't you ever let me hear you say that name around this house again.
Mother, what's the matter with Daddy, dear?
Well, nothing. Nothing, son. Now, look, Harlow, before we have our dinner, you must take your cod liver oil.
Gee, Mother, every day you give me cod liver oil. I wish you'd stop.
Why?
Because my teacher says our classroom smells like the Malibu Pier.
Well, you're going to keep on taking this cod liver oil because it was recommended by Dr. Dale and Dr. Iman.
I don't remember them.
Well, of course you don't. They were the 2 doctors who held you up by your feet when you were born. Now, open your mouth, dear. Come on. There you are. Oh, that's a good boy. Now, go wash your hands.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, honey, isn't he sweet?
He certainly is.
Oh, you know, it just breaks my heart to think that someday he'll grow up.
Oh, I'll get it, dear. Oh, it's you. The man who has the best friends money can buy.
Don, I know you're all upset about something, so I thought I'd come over and talk. May I come in?
Well, all right.
Lois, I suppose Don told you what happened at the studio today. And
We're not going to talk about it before dinner. But you may sit down if you wish.
Okay.
Not there. There. Harlow, we're waiting for you.
Coming, Mother. Mr. Benny.
Harlow, we'll talk with him after we've had our dinner.
Yes, Mother.
Don, get Harlow's chair.
All right.
Oh, Harlow, we're going to have the most wonderful dinner.
Look, I know I'm not supposed to talk, you know, while you folks are going to eat, but why would you put this bulldozer in a high chair?
For sentimental reasons.
This was Don's high chair when he was a baby. Now, dear, you just sit down and I'll serve the food. Here we are. Big surprise for you.
Oh, gee, what a beautiful turkey. How much does it weigh, dear?
23 pounds.
It certainly looks delicious.
Harlow, here is yours.
Oh, smoke.
Mother.
And here are some nice mashed potatoes.
Thank you. Mother, tomorrow some of the kids are going roller skating. Can I go with them?
Oh. Oh, Harlow, dear, I'm sorry, but I lent your roller skates to a man down the street.
Well, what did he want them for?
Maybe he wanted to move a house. Don and Lois, look, I didn't come here just to sit and watch you eat. Now, I wanted to get something off my chest. I knew something was bothering you, so I'm trying to straighten it out. Now, look, I have nothing against Harlow. Believe me.
Why is he mentioning my name?
Now, Harlow, calm down. Never mind.
But he's mentioning my name. I'm in the middle of a conflict again, and I don't like it.
Calm down.
I can't help it. I feel tension in this room.
Now, Harlow, if you don't feel well, you just go up to your room and get ready for bed.
Okay. He upsets me.
Now, Jack, if you came over here to apologize, do it and get it over with.
Now, wait a minute, Don. If you're talking about apologies, you owe me one. Imagine walking off a show in the middle of the show just because you were mad.
You're darn right I was mad. Why, I just can't get over you're not giving my son Harlow a chance. Why, we've treated you like one of our own family. We've had you over here to dinner hundreds of times.
Oh, hold it just a minute, Don. All right, I'll admit I've been here for dinner hundreds of times, but I've always reciprocated.
Oh, yes, he's right, dear. Many times he's taken us over to have dinner at George of Gracie's.
Now, look at Don. Don, I know that you're upset about Harlow, and I'm willing to try to do something about it.
Mother, Daddy, I'm ready for bed.
Oh, fine, dear. Come on out and kiss us goodnight.
I saw a bear last night on Bob Hope's program that looked like him.
Good night, Mother.
Good night, dear.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, son.
Shall I kiss him, too?
I wouldn't let you kiss me if you were a French general.
Well, good night, anyway.
Now, wait a minute, Harlow. Wait a minute, just a minute. Now, look, Don, I know how you feel about your son. You too, Lois. And if you feel that he has talent and can do something, I'm willing to give him a chance, like I did Ronnie. Now, but I've got to know what he can do.
Well, okay. Harlow, why don't you sing something for Mr. Benny?
I don't know what to sing.
Well, Don, why don't you do that number that you and Harlow do so well together?
Okay, dear, okay. Now, Jack, I know this has been done before, but it shows off Harlow's talents very well.
All right, let me hear it.
Okay, dear, will you give us an introduction?
All right.
Right over here, son. When skies are gray, dear, don't you forsake me, son. I love you so, sonny boy. When there are gray skies,
What don't you mind in the least?
I don't mind the gray skies.
What will I do to them?
You'll make them blue.
What's my name?
Sonny boy.
What will friends do to you?
Though my friends forsake me,
What will you let them do?
let those friends forsake me.
Who will you still have in the end?
I'll still have you,
What's my name?
Sonny boy.
Where am I sent from?
You're sent from heaven,
Have I any special valuations?
and I know your worth.
And what did I make?
You made a heaven
For who, right where, on what?
right here on earth.
God bless me.
When I'm old and gray, son,
Want me to promise something?
promise you won't stray, son.
Give me a good reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Jack will be back in just a moment. But first, a word about a light smoke, Lucky Strike.
Amigo, ¿qué hora es?
Ah, es tiempo para encienda un ligero, un Lucky Strike. Fumada ligera, un Lucky Strike. Para el sabor que usted quiere, encienda un Lucky Strike. See, amigos, when you smoke a Lucky, you're smoking light. You're smoking superbly light tobacco. Naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to heighten the lightness, to make the taste even better.
For the taste that you like, light up a Lucky Strike. Light up a light smoke. A Lucky Strike. You'll say it's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish I had time to bring everybody out here and thank them, Ronnie, son, everybody, but I haven't. I just want to say that next Sunday, be sure and watch Bachelor Father, starring John Forsythe. I'll be back in 2 weeks with my own show, and I'll also be on the Shower of Stars a week from Thursday. Now, a very happy Easter, and be sure and buy Easter seals.
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I'm joined with John Henderson. Hey, John.
Hello.
And Kathy Fuller-Seeley. Kathy, we have an Easter episode for you, sort of. It's the Jack in the monologue mentions Easter. The monologue's all about Easter and how this is, I think it was actually Easter Sunday that this was being broadcast. And so he talks about it being Easter Sunday. And he talks about having a bunny and a couple jokes about a bunny. And I just, on the International Jack Benny Fan Club, somebody I'd never seen it before had a picture of Jack holding a bunny. It was from a way younger Jack. I mean, probably, I don't know, 1932 or 34 or something. Anyway, but I just thought, oh, that just works so well with this. I wanted to link those two things up because then Jack's holding a bunny and talking about a bunny. So it's just
we're talking about eating the bunny. So
yeah.
and so if I could make here's a follow-up fantasy Jack Benny episode where he has a dream where he's in front of a court of rabbits who want to condemn him to death for the crime of eating rabbits. So like the turkey episodes.
Yeah,
it's great. And when you say a court that he's in, I just watched our episode with Raymond Burr where they're in court against each other, and we did the intro. I loved our intro. I love that episode. That is just dynamite. So this episode is a fun one. I mean, a lot of folks. I was reading comments about this episode, and folks were just like, "Oh, just laugh out loud." I thought it was so funny. To me, the second part doesn't work as well. I love the monologue and all of that, but at some point, I don't know. Do we want to give it? I'm trying to figure out if I want to give it away or not. But it has to do with Harlow. There's a thing about Harlow being a little kid, and it to me it doesn't work the best. But I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that. But let's go around and see, guys, what you think about this episode and what you want to point out. We'll go with John first. John, what did?
Oh yeah, I guess I'll talk about the Harlow thing first. I love grumpy Don Wilson. So when he first comes out and he's grumpy and he does the commercial, that's my favorite. And even the gag with him stomping, I think it works and is fine. We know for years and years they've been joking about Don Wilson being overweight, and they have various levels of extremes that they go in that joke. The idea that you've got Ricky Nelson, who's like this becoming this big star from Ozzie and Harriet, and a legitimate, rock and roll successful person.
Yes.
And then they've got, people like Gary Crosby, who maybe you've heard of, didn't really take off in the same way. And then, we'll get to the guest of this episode, Ronnie Burns. And so the idea that Don Wilson also has a son and he wants him to be, out there just like Ricky Nelson, I think is a great concept. I thought it was okay. It is a bit unclear whether this is supposed to be a young child who's just played by a larger, older kid, or if it's supposed to be a teenager who they're just treating like a young child. I feel like the setup of the whole gag wasn't quite explained well enough that you could really engage in it in a way that made sense. But it was still fun. It had its fun thing, the idea of them feeding him supper, and then there's a big surprise there. It was pretty funny. So that's my take on the what is it? What's his name? Harlow.
Now that's interesting to me, John, that you don't know much about Harlow, because I've never seen the Harlow episodes. Because again, I haven't seen many of the television episodes. I was saving them until I got the radio book done so that I didn't confuse the two. So I'd never seen any Harlow episodes. And it turns out he's on fairly frequently.
Oh, yeah. So the later years, there's a lot of Harlow episodes. And there's probably a reason why you haven't seen any Harlow episodes, because
they don't make the top 10 best.
It would. You have a curator that somehow Harlow just doesn't work with him all that well. So it's like, I'm not a huge Harlow fan. Of the Harlow episodes, this one works pretty much one of the better ones.
We'll have to have a Harlow meter.
Yeah. I mean, some people might love Harlow, and that's fantastic. Yeah.
I'll tell you, the thing that I did like about it was Don and his wife's reactions. Like they're just they're acting like they're just so delighted in this ridiculous child. So I did like that.
That was the funniest part to me. That I mean, and any Harlow episode, it's really a chance for Don to shine, because it gives him something to do instead of just the ad or whatever. So that's the welcome piece of having Harlow in an episode. Harlow himself doesn't do that much for me. But
singing Sunny Boy, that was a
oh my God.
I did like that. That was funny.
Now, I had a question with that. I don't know if either of you know this, but I thought that Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy did that song together in virtually the exact same way. And
I could see that. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah, I think they did. So and so when I'm watching, I'm like, oh my gosh, they've pretty much stolen that directly from Joe Bergen and Charlie McCarthy.
Bergen's not on television, so that's
No, and they did it on the radio show and stuff.
And yet, then it also works as the parody of the maudlin way that Al Jolson made that song famous. He was the early talkie star singing Sonny Boy, and I have reviews of people just crying their eyes out at the way Al Jolson sang that song with a little tyke on his knees.
Yep. So,
but just the way that he anticipates the lyrics and it gets more and more ridiculous.
Yes,
that was pretty funny.
And it might have been, now that I think about it, because I listened to a lot of the Jolson shows, it could have been Jolson with Charlie McCarthy when Charlie was on his show.
Oh, that would work.
That could have very well been what it was. Because it just I was just thinking, I just heard this recently, but no, that was entertaining, that piece. The whole Ronnie Burns thing, it's such an interesting time frame at this point. This is when rock and roll blew up in like 54, especially 55, 56, 57. This is 58. And so what's happening at this point in time is you've got Great Balls of Fire.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis, right around this time, married his 12-year-old second cousin or something. And so it just torched his career. Elvis, right around this time, went off to be in the army.
Drafted.
Yeah, I got drafted. And right around this time, certainly, and Buddy Holly and Richie Valens both perished in the plane crash, I think the same year. They might already have happened. I'm not sure with the time from this episode. And then
Chuck Berry got put in jail. So
Chuck Berry got put in jail. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. It's the day the music died, and all we have left is Ronnie Burns.
Yeah, and you have the brothers, the Everly brothers. They also went into the services. That now they've decided to both sign up together, but I think that was after Elvis. I think they just looked at and it's too bad, because they probably should have went, oh my gosh, everybody's gone, all our competition is gone, let's while the iron's hot, let's do this. But instead, I think they saw Elvis go in and they said, oh, well, we'll go in too. And so then they were gone for a few years.
Went in so voluntarily.
No, he didn't. No. I'm saying Elvis got drafted, yes.
Yeah.
But they went in voluntarily. They decided together to go in as brothers.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but I want to say it was 1960. And so I think their career was kind of on the wane or something. And so they just went in 60. And then when they got out 63, 64, something like that, but right around the time the Beatles were exploding. And so it was hard for them to try and keep up with that. And so that they, for the next decade, would be kind of struggling. So anyway, all that happened. So rock and roll was just dwindling here. And so the big acts, all the record labels were pushing, they wanted to have more control and be like, okay, we don't want to be at the whim of these rock stars who just disappear and all kinds of crazy things happen to them. They're like, let's get somebody we can control. And so then they had like your Frankie Avalons and your folks that were kind of fabricated folks, and Ronnie would be exactly that, Ronnie Burns, and had that same sound. They all had that same really soft, gentle sound, very peaceful compared to what rock and roll was. And so he
Pat Boone. Pat Boone,
yes. Pat Boone would have been a big one. There was just a lot of them at this time, Paul Anka and all those folks. So
well, it was so interesting to see that musical number, because it's different than things you would normally see on the Jack Benny program. It's not Dennis Day singing, let's say, and it makes me wonder whether they were trying to get like teenagers to watch the Jack Benny program or what, but it really seemed very different. It seemed like they were aiming at a different demographic in that song than they were for the rest of the program.
Yes, it could definitely be.
Yeah, but of course George and Gracie could twist Jack's, uh, arm on this.
Yeah,
So.
true. And so, I'm gonna take him at his word that he'd released his first single, and he was like, okay, well, let's get him on here since I'm friend of the family, and Ronnie, I mean, Ronnie was popular on the Burns and Allen show. Certainly was a semi-regular on that show, and um, I liked him whenever he was on it. He's a good-looking young guy, and definitely has a lot going for him at this point. The
I
Go ahead.
did appreciate the ease with which he could engage Jack, and part of that old story of how did George and Jack meet with
Yes.
my dad says that he was the big star, and so I love how they're playing into those ongoing vaudeville beginning stories that I've always enjoyed so much on radio.
Yep.
But that Ronnie could come in with the twist of saying, "Oh no, I got this from Gracie."
Yeah.
That.
Well, and the just his comic timing with Jack and everything was nice. You could tell he'd been a semi-regular with Burns and Allen for many years because he could come over and do this smoothly. In fact, later in the episode, they actually have him come on kind of like the announcer. I think he either takes us to the commercial break, or he says something about them going to
Yes,
the house or something.
Supposedly, Ronnie I have in my notes that supposedly Ronnie accompanies Jack to Don's house. So,
Yeah.
but that's kind of.
Yeah, but he wasn't in Don's house that we saw, right? Well, that whole scene was kind of weird. I was like, I don't know if, sometimes I space out and miss part of it, and you guys can help me if I mess this up, but I'm like, okay, well, so he's in their house, and they've got him over there because they're trying to talk about how Harlow should be on the show, like Ronnie Burns was. But then they're eating dinner in front of Jack. They never give Jack any dinner or offer any dinner to Jack, right? And so Jack's just sort of standing there watching them eat. It's like, what never seen anything quite like this. But that added to the humor of the situation. But I was like, okay, this is really bizarre. You would think but it could have been funny too if Don just stabbed a piece of meat and go, "You want some, Jack?" It's like,
But I guess
while you're standing there, have some meat.
I guess in a way it's a callback to when he was first talking with Ronnie on stage, and Jack says, "Oh, I've been at your house so many times,"
Yes.
and Ronnie says, "But where do you live? We've never been invited to dinner at your house." So.
I love that too. That was great timing, like I said, on Ronnie's part. That was really well done. I just love how they write for guests on Jack's show, where they let every person gets the best of Jack, and he's always let that be in his radio show and his television show. How could you not want to be a guest star?
Yeah.
They're going to make you look good. He's never had a guest star look bad that I've ever seen. The only ones who kind of come across not the greatest are when he has like politicians, governors and mayors and things, and they can't even quite get their lines out, even though they're really well written lines for them, but they can barely even speak. So it's like, okay, well, that didn't work. And then Jack is so great. He's like, why don't you take that over again or whatever? Give me that again. He wants the audience to get the joke and for the joke to be actually
or Sam Goldwyn on the radio.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But I agree with you. In the trade press, they would say that that's how Jack got Marilyn Monroe and Humphrey Bogart and folks like that on the in the 50s. That movie stars knew that they would be in very good hands.
Yes. Yes, and you get a whole episode worked around you essentially, and it's great. It's not like, oh, you're gonna come on and do one number and then that's it. It's like we're gonna really write the whole show right around you, and it's beautiful. So Anyway, so enjoy this episode. It's a lot of fun. Happy Easter if it's Easter time for you. Hopefully we'll be playing this each Easter for you and things because it's just kind of a fun episode overall. And I like that they're trying to reach it's sort of it's like they're trying to reach a teen audience with Ronnie Burns, but then they're like, what else we got to reach a teen? Oh, we can do Harlow. Harlow can reach a teen audience. Like, we're gonna have him act like he's 4.
Yeah.
And so it really doesn't work. He doesn't come across as the cool. He's not even a cool 4-year-old. So
Before we go, I wanted to mention they were talking about the Easter parade where I guess people walk around in fancy clothes, and they mention something that I'd never heard of. So I wanted to look it up. It was sack dresses.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And so it was like a real fad, I guess, in the 50s. Maybe you guys know more about it than I do. I looked up some images. Some of them are ridiculous, like almost literally wearing a sack.
Wearing a sack.
That were, yeah.
But as we head into the 60s, it seems like most of them are more, I don't know if you can see that, but they're more like this, where it's just like not quite as fitted, yeah. I just thought that was really interesting.
But also some of them were poofy at the bottom and then like tied in or something around the legs to bring it in. So it's like a cinch on a sack, like you're wearing a sack that you would normally close up at the top, but you're wearing it upside down, right? And
Lucille Ball made fun of sack dresses too. She and Ricky are in Hollywood and they go to a fashion show and you see these things. You're right. It was a fad, a top-down fashion decree from France, but very different from the nipped-in waist and wide skirts, the kind of things that Mary Livingston loves to wear.
Right.
So it was as you say, it was a very different kind of shape and didn't last very long, thank God, but it was odd.
I'm still waiting for us to find the episode where Mary's wearing a sack dress. I would love to see that. I have a feeling it doesn't exist. So there we go. Anyway, enjoy, and we'll see you folks next time.
Appearing on tonight's program were Lois Cornett, Dale White, Paul Power, and Seymour Rosen. Choreography by Jack Moore. Remember, 1 week from tonight on this same station, be sure and watch the new Bachelor Father show starring John Forsythe. And next Friday on most of these stations, watch the exciting new series about the Texas Rangers Crackdown, brought to you by Lucky Strike, product of the American Tobacco Company. Remember, tobacco is our middle name. And here's a word for filter tip smokers.
Are you a steady smoker? Then Filter Tip Terratin is the cigarette for you. Mildness makes the difference. Because you don't smoke just one cigarette. You smoke pack after pack, day after day. And all the way, Terratin's special kind of mildness is on your side. Mildness that comes from good-tasting mild tobaccos. And a filter that really filters. Remember,
smoke Filter Tip Terratin, Filter Tip Terratin. Mildness makes the difference.
Jack Benny's next television program will be in 2 weeks. This is Don Wilson saying good night.
Maurice Chevalier, Guy Lombardo, Betty Johnson and the Johnson family, and the Chicago Opera Ballet join Ed Sullivan next on the CBS Television Network.